Welcome to an enlightening journey. This educational content offers challenging insights. Approach with an open mind. The link for the study guide can be found in the description. Subscribe to join the exploration. Let's dive in without wasting time. Mindset Mastery: Unlocking Your Intellectual Potential. Introduction. Secondly, and more importantly, understanding this theory sheds light on one of the fundamental truths of our reality. With growth mindset, we free ourselves from the misconception of fixed traits and abilities. We see things as they really are, which in turn presents us with the paradox of human potential. If nothing is fixed, our limits are ultimately boundless, limited only by time and tenacity. We are constantly adapting and always changing. We get better at getting better, and much like a Lee Settle or a Michael Jordan, we can bring our full intellect and tenacity to any field and expect results that no one believed humanly possible. School is forever in session, and as your intellect grows, you learn to grow it even more effectively. There are many good reasons to dig into the specifics of growth mindset and learn to incorporate it into our daily lives. Firstly, internalizing this new theory will allow you to go beyond simple positive reinforcement and into a highly effective type of habit change. The result? Our potential as learners is unlocked. People give up thinking they lack the required abilities and have the exact sort of confidence that motivates a tenacious and effective approach to learning a new skill or building our knowledge in some new area. One of the most recurring themes in the self-development literature is the concept of the fixed and growth mindsets. The idea that people implicitly attached to personal traits/abilities are one of these two modes and, as a result, behave differently. Pioneered by Dr. Carol Dweck in her wonderful book Mindset, The New Psychology of Success, this idea has taken the collective subconscious of the internet by storm, and with good reason. Chapter 1. Understanding the Power of Mindset. To truly grasp the depth of your mindset in relation to intellectual capacity, one must start with absolute honesty. Take a moment to deeply reflect on your genuine personal qualities. According to the teachings of Carol Dweck, an individual who fearlessly embraces challenges, unafraid of failure, possesses a growth mindset. They recognize that learning is the most crucial skill humans possess, and they tirelessly strive to cultivate and expand upon that skill by learning from their mistakes. So ask yourself, are you someone who tends to choose the safe and predictable path, even if it means missing out on the potential rewards that come with tackling more difficult challenges? Unfortunately, many individuals become traumatized by failure, causing them to shy away from trying new things. Often, the consequences of one failure can close off our minds, preventing us from taking on bigger and bolder challenges in the future. How do you interpret failure? When you fall short of a goal, does it discourage you to the extent that you perceive intelligence as something reserved for only the highly educated? Therefore, confront your characteristics head-on, without reservation. If you tend to view failure negatively or seek comfort in the familiar, then it's possible that you are trapped in a fixed mindset. A significant number of people unknowingly possess a fixed mindset, which hinders their progress. Coined by Carol Dweck, this term refers to our inherent tendency to associate certain things with intelligence while dismissing others as indications of low intellect. For example, many individuals believe that receiving praise and positive feedback for a presentation signifies their intellectual accomplishments. Others may equate the ability to answer all questions correctly in a test with intelligence. Some even correlate financial success with inherent intellectual abilities. As Einstein once stated, the mind that opens to a new idea never returns to its original size. A growth mindset is an intellectual capability that enables individuals to be open-minded, allowing them to generate new perspectives on everyday life. This incendiary quality ignites an internal fire within their thought processes, driving them to consistently enhance their knowledge. Individuals with a fixed mindset perceive qualities as unchangeable. They also believe in innate abilities, talents, and fixed inner traits such as intelligence, creativity, and character. They view themselves as fixed entities who cannot improve or surpass what they were born with. These individuals prefer staying within their comfort zones and avoid putting in additional effort, associating it with stupidity. They regard new challenges as mere obstacles in their lives that they are eagerly waiting to overcome. In terms of personal growth, they approach life as a game of chess where the opponent is not a person or situation, but their own abilities and the course of life itself. A mindset is a steadfast mental attitude or inclination that determines an individual's response to and interpretation of various situations. Mindset is heavily influenced by our beliefs about our own attributes, such as abilities, talents, personality, and values. These dispositions correlate with intelligence, long-term goals, conscientiousness, open-mindedness, and overall happiness. Mindset is closely associated with the concept of fixed and growth mindsets, originally presented by Carol Dweck, a prominent social psychologist from Stanford University. In her pioneering work on motivation, personality, and developmental psychology, Dweck proposed that people can fall into two mindsets, a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. The question of what influences learning and intellectual potential has long been plagued by internal conflict. "I'm not a math person, I'm a football person," is a sentiment often heard. People frequently constrain themselves within the boundaries of what they perceive to be their innate strengths. This line of thinking can be incredibly detrimental. As Thaddeus Say said, telling people they have fixed traits and are either naturally good or bad at something drives them away from subjects in which they do not think they are naturally wonderful. This concept of fixed traits is referred to in psychological literature as an entity mindset. It suggests that only a select few are naturally skilled in certain areas, such as mathematics. On the other hand, the growth mindset asserts that with enough effort, one can achieve great success, akin to the mighty Roman Empire. When viewed in this light, it becomes apparent that we should all strive to shift our mindsets and embark on a path of happiness and accomplishment. We should embrace an entrepreneurial outlook and seek success in our endeavors, much like those who thrive in Silicon Valley. It's difficult to imagine anyone in the world who isn't constantly grappling with the process of acquiring knowledge and skills. Whether it's learning to ride the waves or mastering an ollie on a skateboard, everyone has something they are working hard to excel at. Not even the mightiest colonial empire could conquer the waves of Hawaii's North Shore. The Roman Empire reigned for over a millennium, with its most significant contribution being the invention of concrete, a dense material physically and spiritually. The birthplace of Nike and Microsoft grapples with mental health issues, continuously striving to improve education systems and foster a culture of learning. I refer to this pursuit as the quest for supreme intellectual potential. Chapter 2. Developing a growth mindset. Finally, they must understand that it is not enough to simply express approval of effort. In order for their praise to be heard as an affirmation of effort, it must be specific. "I can see that you are really working hard to understand this." Teachers should also actively provide students with explicit feedback, knowing that as part of the process of learning, errors do not indicate an inherent lack of ability. Teachers should provide students who find learning challenging, as well as those who do not, and express that they have confident expectations that the process of learning will lead toward understanding. After reflecting on the ways proficiency-oriented feedback encourages students to identify as non-math people, one study by Bowler discovered that praise centered on effort encouraged students to express a desire to improve their performance. Teachers seeking to help students develop a growth mindset must make that change themselves. According to Dweck, they cannot merely tell their students that people can change. They must truly believe it themselves. Classroom practices that are grounded in modeling a fixed mindset, such as smart boards that teachers feel unqualified to use or new digital grading programs that they feel are too difficult to learn or master, will similarly encourage a fixed mindset in students. Teachers must embrace challenges, see effort as the path toward mastery, learn from criticism, and celebrate the successes of others. They must use the language of growth mindsets with others and use praise wisely by considering what the praise is meant to convey. Having a growth mindset causes an individual to view too many of life's countless and varied interactions as taking place in the arena of their most basic abilities. People with a fixed mindset see failure as a flaw and may stop trying, while those with a growth mindset believe their skills can be developed and are demanding. There are limitless examples of times when flexibility compared to rigidity offers significant benefits in the pursuit of human ambitions. In athletics, obstacles before and after a game naturally fall under the control of the athlete who embraces the challenges to realize both the moment they are in and their ambition to win. To achieve this, an athlete requires great strength and a deep faith in their team. Of course, this is true if the team holds a similar view on the relaxing properties of the brain and pliability of the intellect. Psychologist Carol Dweck first presented an elaborate description of the constructs that form the foundation of a person's mindset. Her valuable ideas are shared to describe her analysis of human thought and mind. By understanding how the mind works and what the mind can do, Dweck concludes that humans' beliefs about learning and intelligence have tremendous effects on their lives. Fortunately, a descriptive analysis of the mind implies that a person can change their thoughts into the ideas contained in Dweck's growth mindset. Understanding that the ability to grow their minds comes with practice, failures, persistence, and a positive attitude when encountering problems creates a powerful feeling, one that leads to engagement, self-satisfaction, and the learning that help humans thrive. Recognize that you will fail many times over. The chances of failing in a new activity are high. She, therefore, advises that you must be open about failing a few times and recognize its importance to the growth of a positive improvement. According to Carol, failing many times only means that they are not yet good at that thing. It should be an inspiration to try again. Changing her pre-service students' attitude towards the practice of creating a design in class and critiquing each other. Carol indicates that many students are afraid of making mistakes, and she has to work hard at making them believe otherwise. She quotes Richard Feynman's idea: "Science is like a game in which scientists invite nature to tell them when they are wrong about its laws." This means that students should not be afraid of being wrong because every mistake helps to build the right concept. Anderson indicates that research has shown that people who have a negative attitude towards failures tend to have their learning trajectory undermined because they become discouraged by their failure. However, the opposite is the case for people who have an open-minded, positive attitude towards failure. For them, research reveals that they do not just learn better, they learn quickly. To change your attitude towards risk-related failure, with relation to business success, it's reported that personal growth creates success, and it also creates moral and ethical feelings. The focus for people should be on real growth, rather than superficial success such as beauty, wealth, fame, or happiness. Therefore, to genuinely grow, a person must want to experience, learn, and evolve as much as one can or as much as they want to and can. Employees who have a fixed mindset tend to follow leaders who also have a fixed mindset because the leader tends to find it hard to admit they are at fault or are not competent, which leads to a workforce not learning from their failures since mistakes are seen as symptoms of incompetence. Those with a fixed mindset are also reluctant to buy their business partner's shares because they find it hard to understand or deal with bad news, therefore risking more. A backward-looking learning posture, which is mostly favored by fixed mindset leaders, also endangers the organization. Leaders with a growth mindset are hardier than their team members, which makes them more adaptable to the continuous changes that are happening. Mindsets in personal relationships have an important effect on the view of feedback and criticism. Someone with a fixed mindset in terms of their personal relationships sees conflict as a threat, which means that when they are given any sort of feedback, this is interpreted as a flaw in the relationship rather than as an opportunity for constructive criticism. This blocks the way for an objective analysis of their relationship partner's feedback. They also block their growth by hanging on to relationships that are not good for them, which leads to loss of time, effort, and happiness instead of giving up and moving on to what would eventually be a better relationship. When things carry on badly, they will try to change their partner's personality and behavior rather than persevering because they see it as a waste of time. People with a growth mindset seek information that reveals personal weaknesses and then seek to lose the weaknesses seen. It is important for individuals to understand that personal growth is a continuous journey that involves persistence, self-awareness, and openness to change. Developing a growth mindset can lead to greater personal satisfaction, improved relationships, and increased resilience in the face of challenges. By embracing challenges, learning from mistakes, and believing in their ability to learn and grow, individuals can cultivate a mindset that promotes lifelong learning and personal development. With a growth mindset, individuals can approach new experiences with enthusiasm and curiosity, knowing that their abilities are not fixed and that they have the power to improve and evolve over time. As Carol Dweck suggests, embracing failure as an opportunity for growth can transform one's mindset and outlook on life, ultimately leading to greater success and fulfillment. The shared understanding that the attainment of excellence may come as a result of consistent practice and a willingness to put in the hard work necessary to achieve those ambitions is an essential mindset for the resilient leader. Consider the concept of deliberate practice, a hallmark of resilient behavior. This focused pursuit of a specific activity, endeavoring to achieve a heightened level of proficiency over time, requires a considerable investment of time and the ability to seek out honest feedback for growth. Angela Duckworth of the University of Pennsylvania believes that grit, as I define it, is sticking with things over the very long term until you master them. Researchers are beginning to realize that engagement in this type of concentrated, disciplined training in a particular field does not just contribute to the growth of expertise, but also patterns in the brain that work to further facilitate success. You may not control all the events that happen to you, but you can decide not to be reduced by them, wrote Maya Angelou. While there is no doubt that life's many challenges can be incredibly overwhelming, it is our individual approach to adversity that enables us to turn these learning moments into something truly remarkable by fostering resilience and unleashing our own intellectual potential. As you encounter different events in your life, no one else has control over what those events do to you. You have to take control of your own story. Moreover, when they happen, you have to look deep into yourself and ask the question, what can I learn from this? This is the leadership tenet that will allow you to grow past adversity and transform these experiences into meaningful life lessons. Resilient leaders possess a desire to constantly challenge themselves, naturally adapting as life's waves come crashing overhead, ensuring that they remain in peak mental state. Communicating with clients and coworkers to comprehend their emotions is an important aspect of emotional intelligence. Activity becomes more successful when this occurs, and it helps create relationships. In addition, being receptive to others' feelings creates a dynamic in which energy can increase. The leader who develops these abilities often cultivates an overall sense of well-being in others. Finally, EQ has a vast impact on the broader roles of a leader. When a person knows themselves, they have a better understanding of their leadership principles, workers, and the larger private and corporate organizations. Many occupations require a human touch, and employees are called upon to concentrate on customers and clients. Developing emotional intelligence is a key part of developing a growth mindset in the workplace. Emotional intelligence includes the ability to be self-aware, to recognize what you are feeling, the ability to manage emotions positively, the capacity to express oneself well, the skill to interpret feelings presented by others, the skill to manage and maintain relationships, and the ability to inspire others and influence motivational changes. Emotional intelligence includes 5 aspects: perception, application, understanding, and managing emotions. The objective of emotional growth is self-improvement. The 5 abilities enhance the likelihood that the company will become more effective due to a more cohesive, communicative, and motivated workforce. Experience shows us the importance of proper self-care in maintaining a positive self-esteem, mental adaptations, and a healthy mind. It is important to get enough sleep during each 5-day academic week, maintaining the recommended good night's rest benchmark and respecting our biological operational boundaries. People of all ages are recommended to limit screen viewing time to 1 hour or less of high-quality programming per day and to co-engage as a family or household. Limiting prolonged exposure to stress, academic, social, or physical, can also support mental and emotional well-being. It is important to recognize the status of stress as a high alert message. While stress limits our ability to optimally function, it is important to recognize that accomplishing personal rest and the use of adopted stress reduction strategies, such as mindfulness, can pave the path to contentment. Mercier also advises against captivation with the affairs of others, using strategies for emotional balance and working to see the positive or negative impacts of choice when events do demand emotional involvement. Ask yourself, what is your motivation for deciding to continue onwards with your academic journey? Regardless of personal circumstances, there is always a personal motivation that drives our academic performance. This could be a desire for success and achievement, or a passion for a particular topic. Identify this for yourself and keep it in the back of your mind throughout your studies. Hold on to it as a guiding light in moments of pressure. When pressure becomes overwhelming, leaning on this passion can provide a calming, sweeping relief, breaking the overwhelming and defeating feeling into something more manageable and acquirable. To discover your motivation, you can ask yourself, where do I see myself in the next few years? Also, consider a place, experience, or object that invokes personal happiness and express gratitude. A final way to maintain self-motivation and preserve inner happiness is to remind yourself of the reasons why you became interested in higher learning to begin with. Use these strategies to maintain personal motivation through distraction, doubt, or depression. Of course, take a moment to appreciate your accomplishments as well. Remember that you are capable of achieving greatness and that your journey is unique to you. Chapter 4. Enhancing Cognitive Abilities. In this chapter, I will extensively describe and provide a comprehensive analysis of these exercises, delving into the depths of their intricacies. Furthermore, I will offer a multitude of lifestyle suggestions based on a plethora of extensive and meticulous scientific research conducted in the field. Our brain, as a remarkable and complex cognitive processing system, functions by absorbing an immense influx of input and subsequently endeavors to comprehend and analyze it before formulating an appropriate and synchronized output. In the subsequent paragraphs, I will thoroughly elucidate and explicate the significance and relevance of various cognitive abilities that play a vital role in our daily lives. These cognitive abilities will be succinctly explained in a generalized manner, followed by a succinct explanation of their importance and relevance. Moreover, I will provide an in-depth analysis and detailed exploration of the methods that can be employed to enhance and augment these inherent abilities. It is essential to recognize that these cognitive abilities are not static, but rather possess the propensity to evolve and transform as we progress through the different stages of our lives. As such, it becomes imperative to prioritize and focus on enhancing the cognitive mechanisms and aptitudes that align with our desired proficiency levels. The human brain, an awe-inspiring organ of immense potential, has a tendency to squander its energy on trivial and suboptimal problems. However, if we were to harness and train our brain power towards our most formidable goals, we would be capable of overcoming any obstacle and conquering virtually anything that stands in our way. This chapter aims to provide profound insights into the methods that can be employed to enhance and maximize one's cognitive abilities, thereby propelling and propulsing their innate intelligence towards the zenith of success and accomplishment. By embarking on this enlightening journey, readers will be granted a comprehensive and holistic understanding of the primary cognitive abilities, their inherent significance and relevance, as well as the array of methods and approaches that can be utilized to enhance or, conversely, detract from these abilities. While the pursuit of a secret and miraculous method to effortlessly enhance one's natural intelligence may be a prevailing desire, it is pertinent to acknowledge that the journey towards augmenting cognitive abilities is no different from the arduous and monotonous endeavor of enhancing physical skills. It necessitates relentless practice and adherence to general guidelines, such as the maintenance of a nourishing and well-balanced nutrition, regular engagement in physical exercise, and perhaps most crucially, the engagement in intellectual exercise across a diverse range of relevant subjects. Thus, it becomes indisputably evident that the transformation and augmentation of one's cognitive abilities requires steadfast determination, discipline, and a steadfast commitment to self-improvement. How can we effectively utilize the concept of summer school to not only redefine and reshape the mindset of students, but also to provide them with the necessary tools and resources to excel and thrive in the vast and complex realm of physics? The key to teaching students the art of becoming independent and autonomous problem solvers lies in the ability of educators to embody and exemplify the traits and qualities of master problem solvers themselves. In many ways, the process of teaching problem solving bears a striking resemblance to the process of teaching reading. Just as we assist students in comprehending the historical and contextual information of a novel, and guide them to question and critically evaluate its contents, the teacher's role in teaching problem solving is akin to a facilitator who aids students in grasping the fundamental concepts and principles that underlie the world of physics. Through patient guidance and unwavering support, educators empower students to navigate through the intricate and labyrinthine domains of complex problems, encouraging them to critically analyze the problem at hand, identify the relevant cues and scenarios, and subsequently embark on a journey to discover the most optimal and effective routes to a viable solution. Simultaneously, educators also foster the development and refinement of students' numerical and problem-solving skills, nurturing a profound understanding of the underlying mechanisms and intricacies of scientific problem-solving. Moreover, educators play a pivotal role in equipping students with the indispensable ability to introspectively assess and scrutinize their answers, thereby enabling them to understand that constructive criticism is an integral and indispensable component of the scientific process. Indeed, the act of critiquing and evaluating the merits and flaws of one's answer holds far greater significance in the realm of science than it does in the realm of reading. Unlike the core credit courses that revolve around algorithms and rote memorization of facts and formulas, physics credits are predominantly contingent upon an individual's ability to deftly navigate the intricate domain of problem solving. Therefore, it becomes of paramount importance for students to be well prepared and adequately equipped with the essential tools and skills to navigate through the myriad challenges that lie ahead. While students may have previously cultivated a passive and reactive mindset, exemplified by their proclivity to await the provision of answers from their teachers, the trajectory of physics education in subsequent years is poised to adopt a dynamic and proactive model. As students advance to College Physics 1 and 2, and potentially explore the vast expanse of physics-based engineering or astronomy courses, they will encounter a paradigm shift. A shift that necessitates the emergence of a self-driven and self-reliant approach to problem solving. Dr. Michael Mays, a distinguished scholar and expert in the realm of creativity, has identified several principles and factors that engender and foster the flourishing of creativity in specific contexts. Firstly, Dr. Mays posits that creativity is an outcome and byproduct of mindfulness, a state wherein individuals attentively and meticulously focus on the situation at hand, abstaining from becoming entangled and entwined in superfluous and extraneous cognitions that hold no pertinence or relevance to the problem at hand. Furthermore, Dr. Mays underscores the significance of developing and fostering active listening and empathy for others, as these attributes serve as potent catalysts for creativity and promote a culture of risk-taking. When individuals feel secure and confident in the knowledge that their ideas, no matter how unconventional or divergent, will be valued and acknowledged by their leaders, they are more inclined to take the courageous leap of sharing and presenting these ideas. It is within an organizational culture that espouses and embraces creativity that this powerful force truly thrives. Lastly, Dr. Mays advocates for the creation of an environment wherein the occurrence of creative letdowns and disappointments does not warrant punishment or chastisement. On the contrary, Dr. Mays insists that disappointment resulting from a failed creative solution should be reinforced and embraced, as it signifies that making minor errors or missteps does not pose a catastrophic threat to individuals. By treating creative disappointments with tolerance and understanding, leaders convey the message that occasional failure is not only inevitable, but also essential for growth and progress. This stance allows individuals to acknowledge and appreciate the inherent risks associated with creativity, ultimately enabling them to embark on future endeavors with a heightened sense of insight and perspective. Organizations driven by a steadfast commitment to fostering a culture of creativity and innovation consciously adopt mechanisms and strategies that serve to amplify and enhance the creative output of their employees. One notable factor that has consistently been identified as a pivotal catalyst for creativity is the presence of domain-relevant expertise. As psychologists emphasize, expertise constitutes one of the many situational sources that contribute to the realization and manifestation of cognitive control. In essence, the cognitive processes that underpin the generation of creative solutions to complex and arduous problems mirror the same cognitive processes that are harnessed during the process of deliberate practice. In a variety of experimental conditions that investigate and explore creativity, it has been consistently observed that professionals who possess substantial expertise in a specific domain are more likely to produce novel and groundbreaking work when compared to novices who engage in similar tasks. This effect is not limited to tasks that exist within the confines of the individual's domain of expertise, but extends beyond this realm, serving as evidence for the concept of far transfer between an individual's professional training and their overall creativity. Chapter 5. Developing Effective Learning Strategies. Beaumont and Pitt outlined the course of a semester for students participating in a memory study. They asked the students to take detailed and comprehensive notes from the text and then review their notes using the appropriate strategy, i.e., generating flashcards from their notes and using the flashcards to quiz themselves. It is important to note that in each case, the act of summarization led to significantly better short and long-term retention. However, the quality of these summarizations, as verified by the National Association of Student Personnel Administrators model, is suggested to be the critical factor. It is not enough to simply summarize information. The depth, style, and quality of the summaries must be high in order to increase retention. Before you and your students set out to expand your respective knowledge stockpiles, it is advisable to first determine the most efficient and effective strategies. Both Pitt and Beaumont, 2002, and Ellis, 1985, gave significant consideration to this crucial concept and endeavored to provide a comprehensive theory and model, respectively. To this end, though these esteemed researchers explored a wide range of learning strategies, we will focus specifically on those that are most closely related to the educational context, reviewing, summarization, and the practice and rehearsal associated with problem solving, which they referred to as the operational store. Many researchers, including Herzog, Price, and Dunlosky, 1996, have suggested that the retention of information is shared among several information processing or other cognitive processes. In our summary, we will focus on the ones that we believe are most closely related to an educational setting. Furthermore, Bauer and Winzens, 1970, conducted a notable study in which they demonstrated that unique items in a learning list could be recalled, but that their order could not be accurately remembered. However, through the use of appropriate strategies, we can enhance both the salience of the information and the learned order of these unique items. This consideration holds significant weight in a college setting, where in addition to our individual metacognition, the teaching strategies that we, as educators, employ are of equal importance. It is our responsibility to adequately prepare and equip students for active participation in our courses. Conceptually, strength in the context of education is much like strength gained at the gym. Although the muscles involved differ, the essential process remains the same. Practice followed by recovery, both fueled by the temporal connections forged between repeated failures and subsequent emotional rebounds. The strength to be gained, whether it be the ability to perform for longer durations, recover more quickly, bear a heavier cognitive load, or more efficiently handle novel stressors, is precisely the adaptation of old cognitive muscles brought about by the physical or intellectual stress of testing and subsequent recovery. However, growth is not inevitable, nor is personal success guaranteed. The key to success lies in the development and nurturing of an intellectual self-image that remains open and receptive to new information. A panarchist-style learning approach, if you will, characterized by contextual and conceptual malleability built upon a scaffold of pre-existing knowledge. What if I were to tell you that everything you have ever been told about the path to greatness, whether in athletics, academics, professions, or the arts, is a lie? What if I were to suggest that the journey to mastery is not a distant peak to be reached, but rather the outermost concentric circle on an ever-evolving continuum, closer to the center of self? It may sound counterintuitive, but the empirical evidence speaks for itself. In countless studies, it is the development of a growth mindset that consistently predicts greatness, whether personal, professional, or intellectual, across a wide array of fields. It is not the pursuit of maximum potential alone that leads to greatness, but rather the cultivation of a growth mindset that values continuous improvement and embraces challenges. The phenomenon of hypercorrection can be seen as an extension of the testing effect. Hypercorrection occurs when a strongly held belief is refuted and the ensuing cognitive consequence is a correction. For example, when someone confidently asserts a fact or makes a grammatical error and then receives a correction from a source that is perceived as less authoritative, like a child. James and Della Sala argue that corrections are often recognized due to the confidence of expertise. It is as if their professional authority should have prevented them from learning the incorrect information in the first place. Furthermore, recent findings in cognitive neuroscience have demonstrated a positive correlation between the act of retrieving information and subsequent learning in future trials. The stronger the retrieval, the greater the likelihood of learning, leading to easier and more successful future retrievals. It is vital to note that the quality of the testing directly impacts the quality of the learning. In order to effectively utilize study techniques, it is important to consider the implications of the testing effect. The testing effect is a well-documented phenomenon in cognitive science that highlights the efficacy of proper testing in enhancing retention. But is it truly worth the effort? Studies consistently show that engaging in more substantial and rigorous tests has a ripple effect, whereby the retrieval process stimulates the generation of connections in the brain. These connections contribute to a deeper understanding, which can then be transferred and applied to further learning. The retrieval phase of learning is undeniably challenging, yet it yields the strongest impact on memory. On the other hand, the encoding phase has the weakest effect on memory. This is why even students who diligently encode information often find themselves cramming before an exam. In order to master the habits of recognizing agreement, synthesis, skill 6, problem recognition, and reaction, one must place a great emphasis on retention and practice the skills associated with retaining information. These habits are the foundation upon which architect core strategies are built. Skill 7. If retention allows you to remember previously learned strategies, recall provides you with the necessary strategies for future problem solving. Recall, the ability to swiftly and effortlessly access information, is the cumulative result of improving the state of the other four intellectual skills and requires proficiency in every single habit. Like retention, recall is a skill that can be developed with relative ease. By consistently employing these strategies, you will quickly transition from relying on outdated and ineffective note cards to accessing strategies on demand. Skill 8. With regular practice, you will confidently enter any learning situation and promptly retrieve the appropriate strategy from your arsenal. Acquiring information is one thing, but retaining and recalling it is an entirely different challenge. Both retention and recall play crucial roles in mastering a skill. However, they are often overlooked or underestimated. If you have ever experienced the frustration of spending significant time learning a concept only to forget it shortly afterward, then you have first-hand knowledge of poor retention. Developing strong retention skills is absolutely essential if one wishes to achieve mastery in complex subjects. The ultimate goal is to have the ability to effortlessly recall every skill with minimal mental effort. Most individuals, unfortunately, struggle with retention. Instead of recognizing the importance and urgency of addressing this issue, many people dismiss the significance of retention. They perceive themselves as giant notepads, assuming that as long as they have enough space to write down information, they need not concern themselves with retention. However, this outlook is short-sighted and can hinder true intellectual growth. Chapter 6. Cultivating a Curious Mind. Unsuccessful people are attention seekers. They do it for fun and laughs, which eventually fades out. Successful people operate simply because they derive immense pleasure from what they do. Successful people enjoy their little successes and communicate them through to build increasingly challenging goals for themselves. Enjoy scratching below the surface to avoid misunderstanding of life's phenomena. To sum it all up, successful people are curious for life. No one wants to teach a reluctant student or hire a disinterested employee. A curious person communicates to the world that they are involved and interested in their environment. They also create an atmosphere of thought and communication, thereby having an experience richer than they would have had through simply asking questions. It is not enough to be just curious. You have to go deep in an area that is truly of interest and personal importance to you. Understand that successful people shape and design their environment to fuel and support their personal passion, rather than waiting for irresistible passions to magically appear. Now your environment matters. Choose one that sparks curiosity. Time will reveal that the most successful people focus on that one area of interest. This is not to be confused with the little success that comes when you have fingers in many pies. Richard Restak eloquently said, "Our success in life is not likely to depend on how much we know, but on our curiosity, our tenacity, our self-awareness, and the creativity we bring to our lives and the lives of others." High, misguided goals can also kill curiosity, and so can seeking rewards or evaluations. On the other hand, a growth mindset is a mindset where people believe that their most basic abilities can be developed through dedication and hard work. This view creates a love for learning and resilience that is essential for great accomplishment. Constructing a mindset that is inclusive of the belief that there is growth potential allows the mindset holder to struggle, take on new learning opportunities, and create a love for learning. For over 3 decades of psychological research have demonstrated the great effects of mindset, and it has continued through even more research. A growth mindset, when applied to learners, is established on the tenet that student potential is nurtured and developed by educators, caregivers, and administrators. This belief then leads to a focus on identifying supports, weaknesses, and any limiting beliefs of the learner through a systems approach. A mindset, at its core, is an attitudinal state of mind that predetermines the way one understands, responds to, and handles a situation. In her groundbreaking work on the power of mindset, Dr. Carol Dweck says there are 2 types of mindsets: fixed and growth. A fixed mindset is one in which an individual has a fixed view of their own intelligence, ability, and potential. They believe that intelligence is a static quality and is simply an inborn trait. A fixed mindset leads to a need to prove oneself over and over, and therefore setting up one to take no risk and possibly learn little in the long run. People with a growth mindset see the acquisition of new knowledge as the bedrock of their personal development, irrespective of how slowly they process their thoughts. Nevertheless, the fixed mindset does not suggest that if you cannot understand a new perspective or concept right away, you are inherently flawed. Fundamentally, you are likely handicapping your potentials to process. Challenges will prove beneficial if you persist in good stride while savoring the aroma of temptation. Once you succumb to staying on course, rather than yielding to a loud and exultant cheering when things become receptive, triumphant dejection cannot steal your chance to succeed costly. In a growth mindset, however, you are imbued with the belief that you have power over your ability. There is no cause for real alarm when you initially can't grasp an idea. Rather, you should recognize that difficulty must be surmounted, and such an understanding has its roots in your inherent belief that great minds and intellectuals are not born. Rather, they evolve through learning and hard work. In a fixed mindset, if an idea is initially difficult to comprehend, you're unlikely to make an additional effort to grapple with such an idea, and the consequences are that you easily, or appropriately so, become disheartened. As a result, taking ownership and taking the bull by the horns becomes a steep uphill task, thereby limiting your growth, intellect, and abilities. Formulating replies in a debate exercise your critical thinking skills so that you can respond effectively and efficiently. The pressures generated in debate refine your focus. They require you to shape and use the raw energy within you to bring your best thinking forward. Engaging with others on a particular topic often leads to introspection. Having to openly defend your ideas and beliefs can lead you to look for information that might require revising your position, should it prove inaccurate. This collective exchange reciprocates learning, vastly benefiting all of those involved. Finally, many individuals avoid engaging in any sort of debate or dialogue for fear of confrontation or offending others. These fears are reasonable, as the previous strategies clearly outline. Those who handle their emotions poorly can transform these exercises into an attack scenario. In order to be persuasive, commend others when they help lead you to a new perspective. By respecting others' voices, engaging in intellectual discussions and debates will help leverage your thinking and unlock your intellectual potential. Discussing a new topic engages you in a learning process that pushes your boundaries, allowing you to think abstractly and consider novel ideas. You can improve your thinking through dialogue and debate as you analyze how others present and shape their viewpoints. Engaging in such discussions can be particularly beneficial to those who don't favor debating others, as such scenarios will help you gain experience to become a much more persuasive person. Debating others will enable you to test your ideas and discover the areas where there are gaps in your logic or thinking. You will often find others who have already thought about the topic at hand. They may be able to provide you with a fresh perspective that helps you refine your ideas. The best practice, of course, will be to engage those who currently advocate an opposing idea to your own. Engaging others in a constructive conversation or debate can shine light on the ideas, arguments, and evidence in support and against the topics at hand, potentially leading to a reconsideration of your initial opinion or starting point. Chapter 7. Overcoming Limiting Beliefs. The process of belief formation, unfortunately, involves our ability to act as the creators of our lives and existence. Besides, our constant conditioning and the ideas that we are exposed to exert influence on our capability of creating coherent personal belief systems. This way, limiting beliefs get installed as a result of external events. Therefore, our abilities to experience what is possible for us and what is not get seriously influenced by variations of the feedback and criticism through which we might have been conditioned. Before we get to understand and consciously take control of our lives, we fail to notice the very large number of limiting beliefs that we have. These beliefs constantly reproduce themselves through our thoughts and feelings, and without our awareness, they go on to limit the scope of our capabilities. Our world is full of various kinds of beliefs and belief systems, and some are served by these limiting beliefs as a fundamental part of the structure that generates them. A personal belief system is the collection of conscious and unconscious ideas, as well as beliefs through which the mind and the heart of a human being function. Such belief systems allow individuals to experience a sense of coherence, as these beliefs and ideas determine the experiences of success and failure, health and illness, luck and misfortune. Above all, these beliefs and ideas decide the inner and outer limits of what an individual can or cannot achieve, as well as what they can or cannot experience in life. Referring back to the study above, once individuals identified their limitations, they tested counter thoughts by inquiring themselves: 1. Do I believe that? 2. Can I challenge that belief? In addition, we see this same action when we examine the phenomenon known as failing upwards. More broadly, when trying to make concrete changes in your life, one of the most important steps is identifying your self-limiting beliefs and relentlessly challenging them. Before you begin challenging yourself, conduct a self-limiting beliefs audit. Here, the specific aim is to systematically strip away the veneer of objectivity and focus on your emotional response the moment a thought or belief is brought into recognition. In short, we want to become experts on our limitations, which means recognizing specific times when we shut down. The main factor from this robust study is the thoughts and beliefs that drive our behaviors and produce different life outcomes. Overall, although people are usually rightfully concerned about negative thoughts and beliefs, it is shown that positive thoughts and beliefs can protect an individual from harm or foster recovery from negative events. For the quitting smoking groups, as highlighted by this study, the common response was, "Well, I told myself these would be stressful times." As a practitioner who prides themselves on determining patterns and identifying solutions for long-term change habits, this event raises the following question, which the study raises: how do you keep resistance going? During the study, Finkel and researchers studied how individuals who had quit smoking or those who lost 10% of their body weight had developed lasting changes, which goes back to what the majority of people examine and are attracted to: the results. However, rarely do we see what the individual had done to get to those results, which were the long-term changes to their specific consumer purchasing habits. In a study conducted by Burnett and Finkel entitled "Path to Long-Term Resistance, It's How You Think," the paper addressed the plan of the seed to long-term resistance, which, for the mind map of this paper, is the seed to mindset mastery. It's not so much about what you do, but it's how you think. One important aspect of encouraging a growth mindset in others is not to endorse the opposite. When children hear their parents or teachers praising intelligent or talented, they learn to believe that that's what matters. Any mistake that has dire repercussions confirms this impression. If our parents or teachers praise our effort instead, children and older students learn to value and enjoy effort. They also learn that effort is key to any achievement and that any skill can be cultivated with persistence. As a result, many of them quickly come to prefer difficult tasks and consequently develop a stronger desire to deal systematically with schools and school assignments. This is also true for athletes and musicians. As a mindset is not contagious, you have to face the fact that many people you meet will have negative mindsets that don't empower them in any way. To encourage people to adopt a growth mindset, you will need to do more than change all your habits into positive ones first, as we talked about in Chapter 7.0. Develop your new growth mindset. However, by showing your own enthusiasm for new learning and improvement and your affection for people and for the process of learning, you can indirectly prove to them that empowering mindsets do exist and are beneficial. If you'd like to take a more direct method, then there are, of course, also a number of things you can do to help promote a growth mindset in others. Given that you are fortunate to recognize the power of affirmations and change your life, we have prepared over 200 life affirmations. Next, you can create affirmations for each area in your life. Repeating your personal affirmations often will reach absolute conviction. Even if you do not know what to expect from the universe, please do not express doubts about anything. Say these affirmations with conviction, and magical things will start happening around you. With so many amazing changes, it will become your habitual behavior, and people around you will see you becoming absolutely radiant. Then they will want to know your secret, and you will like to tell them about the powerful forces unleashed in you. Do you feel tired and uninspired? Affirmations can help. Employing a series of affirmations can warm the inspiration into your heart, fill your heart with gratitude, and reanimate your spirit. Writing down and repeating affirmations is the most liberating thing a human being can do. Warning: always be positive when writing and repeating your affirmations. Affirm your identity. Do not specify what you do not want by saying, "I'm not fat." Instead, simply affirm that "I'm healthy, gorgeous, and energetic." Affirm your success in the present tense and repeat it with genuine belief. Abundance is dressed in my house, plays in my backyard, and laughs on my front porch. Remember, with the power of affirmations, you can transform your life and live the life you truly desire. Chapter 8: Nurturing a Supportive Environment. In a similar vein, others might misinterpret our intellectual shyness and quietness as disinterest and poor skill, when in reality, we have only just begun to lay the foundation of whatever skill we are developing. It is crucial to understand where others are on the path, inform them, nurture positive dialogue about their interests and pursuits, provide resources where you can or facilities to expand on their newfound knowledge, and watch them grow into the kindred intellectuals we so sorely crave. It is important to be accepting of the psychological factors that hinder intellectual growth at all stages and work toward mastering them. Sometimes we may find our journey challenging because we feel unprepared or untalented. However, we have plenty of time to master the basics of our specialties and grow into them. They might accidentally build up, subconsciously or consciously, through persistence, into a near-intuitive disposition of understanding. Conversations about complex topics will require both intellectual courage and humility, as the activation of our reflection phase brings intellectual discomfort. As that is the point, we know we have to start at the bottom of mountains, and with nearly everything else. Therefore, as we begin kindergarten, our discomfort is quickly eaten up by victory as our skills and confidence increase. The "I know that's difficult, but you will get there" mentality should always begin with "I know where you started." Creating an environment that supports a positive mindset is essential for intellectual growth. If the intellectual standards of those around us are low, we become complacent and fail to reach our potential. While this does not mean we should avoid people who are pessimistic, we must not become like them. Intellectual courage is a highly valued attribute, for it suggests a willingness to grapple with difficult questions. As we work with others to build our collective wisdom, we should greet challenges with little murmuring, acquiring the discipline to wrestle through them for the betterment of all. Do people leave your presence feeling inspired and mentally challenged? If not, there may be an opportunity for you to reevaluate the relationships you have established. In her best-selling book, The Top 5 Regrets of the Dying, Bronnie Ware describes the 5 most common regrets expressed by individuals as they approach their end of life. The number 1 regret was, "I wish I'd had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me." We each have to determine the rules of engagement and commit to immersing ourselves in activities and relationships that allow us to reach our full potential. Shoemaker, 1953, believed that like attracts like. He proposed that individuals tend to gravitate toward others who are similar. When we spend excessive amounts of time with others, our behaviors, including our intellectual behaviors, often reflect that of those individuals. When we build relationships with individuals who are focused and driven, there is a great likelihood that we will adopt productive work habits and become more intellectually engaged. Strauss, 2009. To achieve greatness, it is essential that you surround yourself with focused, driven, and like-minded individuals. These are individuals that are constantly challenging themselves and others to be successful. Whether it is in business or on the athletic fields, it is important to be in contact with individuals that inspire, challenge, and push you. High achievers often stimulate creativity and prevent others from stagnating. They often foster a culture of intrinsic motivation, risk taking, and problem solving that are critical conditions for mindset mastery. Refrain from participating with or being influenced by individuals who thrive on creating a low achieving environment. These individuals may have a negative impact on your optimal intellectual growth and development. Integrity, giving, and generosity are the bedrock of purposeful networking and robust relationships. We have to be genuine and show the intent of giving, not with a vested interest, but with a clean heart and open mind. We can do this by offering time, knowledge, and expertise, sharing experiences, and allowing the other to speak. We should practice what we preach. In many cases, we advocate and promote values. They are unrelated to us and in isolation, but not in our shared values and our behavior with individuals, groups, customers, and culture. We should provide solutions, seek clarity, not create conflict and misunderstandings, and avoid ambiguity. With integrity, we should create an environment of tranquility, positivity, and freshness. Our organizations are temporary anchors for employees, associates, and laborers. Do not make this time period of their association with us as one of the most difficult and tumultuous periods of their lives. Relationships are like structures of bricks. If one brick falls down, it can affect the entire structure. The same is the case when we have weak links in our network. We must cultivate, develop, and maintain relationships that are meaningful, genuine, and transparent. Building and sustaining robust networks is an art and a science. The components of purposeful networking, which have the potential to catapult our personal brand and reputation, are A. Integrity, giving, and generosity. B. Nurturing and stewarding relationships. C. Being bold, articulate, and expressive. D. Taking strategic steps and adopting unconventional approaches. A less direct, but potentially more powerful, incentive for engaging in the mentoring process may be called mimesis or modeling. The fundamental idea is that by observing other individuals in known to be beneficial or veridical exercises, we develop a correspondence between the observed actions and our own potential experiences of actions in similar circumstances. This correspondence is then turned inward as a way to plan, monitor, regulate, or interpret our internal models of what to do. By observing someone else, we may mentally imitate some or all of the sensory motor pathways activated in that person. In terms of mental representation, mentors may serve many functions. In the simplest case, a mentor may help a novice practitioner develop sound internalized procedures in the form of a mental model developed from direct practice. For a mathematician learning to solve a new type of problem, a biologist mastering a new experimental technique, or a computer scientist writing a more efficient algorithm, a mentor with expertise to impart can help both by demonstrating competent practice and by explaining how to segment proficient performance into meaningful verbalizable chunks. A more experienced mentor may offer more general advice, such as which problems are interesting or how to develop a career. Experienced individuals come with the advantage of having integrated a large knowledge base, making them potentially more effective at developing principled structures of knowing than a novice individual could develop from momentary interactions. Chapter 9. Sustaining Intellectual Growth. When someone is willing to grow and expand their horizons, a major change will be released, shifting the course of their life. This change, although necessary, can be chaotic and messy, causing discomfort and unease at the beginning. Unfortunately, many people resist and fight against even the most fundamental changes that our existence demands. As a result, change creates wide gaps amongst group friends and family members, often without our awareness. These gaps, fueled by ignorance, erode relationships and replay negative patterns, hindering personal growth and development. It is crucial to recognize this and actively seek knowledge to prevent this stagnation. Accepting knowledge is the key to preventing this limiting condition. Our brains have the remarkable ability to absorb new information through five main input channels: speaking, smell, visualization, physical activities, and listening. Each channel introduces a single thing at a time, synchronizing and programming our minds until it becomes a part of who we are. Understanding the synchrony mechanism in this process emphasizes the importance of persistent, extensive, and continuous changes in our lives. Education plays a vital role in this journey towards knowledge. School attendance endows us with a compass for life, providing us with the tools to navigate the complexities of the world. However, knowledge alone is not enough. We must also learn how to effectively use that knowledge, avoiding common mistakes that arise from lack of information or misuse of what we've learned. The sense of change that accompanies knowledge is associated with positive habit building, beginning with belief building in the depths of our soul, heart, and coordinated brain changes. In times of crisis and urgency, it is crucial to approach threats with careful planning and strategic action. Reacting impulsively and rashly will seldom lead to success or legendary status. History has shown us that great martial artists, military geniuses, and great minds achieve success and leave a lasting impact because they approach every situation with foresight, meticulous planning, and unwavering dedication. Through countless hours of practice and preparation, they internalize every movement, making it second nature and effortless. To embark on a journey of personal growth and intellectual excellence, it is essential to set long-term goals. These goals act as a guiding light, providing direction and purpose to our actions. Like a martial artist aiming to become a master or a sailor charting a course across the vast ocean, having a clear vision of our desired destination fuels our efforts. Without a goal or vision, we become lost and directionless, akin to opening a business without a plan for success. To achieve greatness and avoid failure, we must follow a plan and execute it diligently. The people we choose to surround ourselves with also greatly influence our intellectual capacity. It is imperative to choose friends and companions who inspire and challenge us, rather than dragging us down to their level. As we aspire for intellectual excellence, we must seek out friends who share our ambition and drive. By engaging in ambitious endeavors and surrounding ourselves with like-minded individuals, our intellectual capacities will soar beyond imagination. In addition to cultivating relationships and setting goals, physical exercise plays a crucial role in unlocking our intellectual potential. Regular exercise, regardless of volume, elevates our mood, enhances creativity, and improves overall well-being. Our minds are deeply intertwined with our bodies, and by prioritizing physical well-being, we create a harmonious balance that leads to intellectual breakthroughs. A balanced lifestyle is equally important in realizing our intellectual potential. Just as the mind influences the body commands the mind. While pursuing intellectual endeavors, neglecting other aspects of life can limit our growth. There are 5 main pillars to maintain this balance: exercise, social interactions, leisure activities, a healthy diet, and spirituality. Nurturing these pillars allows for holistic growth and continuous intellectual development. Looking back at history, we admire the lives of past geniuses and intellectuals, marveling at their rebellious nature and forward-thinking mindset. These individuals challenged existing norms and tirelessly sought knowledge and understanding. Their contributions across various fields, from science to philosophy, continue to impact future generations. Acknowledging the importance of exploration and intellectual curiosity, we must express gratitude to those who provide opportunities for growth and learning. Always be aware, seek new knowledge, and appreciate the catalysts that propel our intellectual development. Moreover, the journey towards intellectual growth does not end with formal education. Graduating from school or university should not be the moment we enter our comfort zones. Instead, we must continually challenge ourselves, seek new opportunities, and embrace personal growth. Stepping out of our comfort zones leads to new experiences, insightful knowledge, and priceless wisdom. It is through these challenges and constant self improvement that we truly expand our intellectual horizons. In conclusion, the pursuit of knowledge and intellectual excellence requires a commitment to growth. Embracing change, accepting knowledge, and setting long term goals pave the path to success. Surrounding ourselves with inspiring individuals and maintaining a balanced lifestyle further enhances our intellectual capacities. By challenging ourselves, seeking new experiences, and embracing personal growth, we unlock our true potential and leave a lasting impact on the world. Conclusion: a growth mindset will also help our students navigate these uncertain times and maintain their enthusiasm for learning. It will give them hope and courage as they deal with the consequences of an extended school closure. One significant consequence is that learners may be assigned tasks that do not challenge them, in addition to not having the opportunity to apply their digital competencies responsibly and ethically, which they learned in the classroom. Keeping learners actively engaged in a digital world is not enough. We must also provide them with tools that can translate into educational digital competencies, supported and strengthened by the appropriate social infrastructure. Paraphrasing my writing mentor, we must become proficient in our own ways and then guide others. Courage and a growth mindset are crucial for our students. Our students need the courage to succeed in online learning. They also need to embrace a growth mindset, focusing on the learning process rather than easy assignments that require minimal effort but may result in higher grades. The key to successful online learning is learner engagement, and our ability to support our students is equally important. Growth mindset doesn't encourage rolling with the punches and, when things get rough, getting back on the saddle and keeping the fight. Growth mindset revolves around leveraging difficulties so you can learn from them and grow into a bigger and better person. Growth mindset individuals are more likely to keep an open mind, to feel fascinated by and eager to take charge of difficulties and to deal with mistakes and failures with joy and serenity, seeking learning and improvement in the process. 19th century British mathematician Augustus de Morgan said, "We cannot surpass our highest point of trouble." In other words, all growth in life is precipitated through times of adversity. Growth and development come more from inner than outer conflict. As we approach a task in which we fail, convictions about not being smart, talented, or good enough will rise to the surface. If we let these beliefs defeat us, learning, progress, and success will halt. If we see these thoughts as static, understand that they do not represent the truth, and work to move past them, we go from being limited by fixed mindsets to operating from a growth mindset. As we have seen, a fixed mindset doesn't encourage willingness to embrace the challenge, to keep working hard in the face of difficulty, or to see effort as a pathway to mastery. Fixed mindset individuals are more likely to give up on tasks and invest less effort in solving problems. By contrast, the growth mindset encourages a nature of indifference toward or disdain for the challenge, and whenever an obstacle drops into a fixed mindset individual's life, it often causes them to lose motivation. People with a fixed mindset are more likely to feel defeated and downgrade their abilities and accomplishments when faced with difficulties. So, once you embrace a mindset that only represents one aspect of your abilities and personality, and based on the idea that neither intelligence nor talent can change, it is important to develop these qualities through cultivation and development. In conclusion, a growth mindset serves as a guiding light for students during these uncertain times. It instills hope, courage, and determination as they face the challenges posed by an extended school closure. It is vital to acknowledge that learners may encounter tasks that do not fully engage their abilities, along with a lack of opportunities to utilize their digital competencies responsibly and ethically, which were acquired in the classroom. Merely keeping students active in the digital world fails to suffice. We must equip them with tools that enable the translation of their educational digital competencies while being supported and reinforced by a suitable social infrastructure. As my writing mentor taught me, we must attain proficiency in our own unique ways before guiding others. Courage and a growth mindset are of utmost importance for our students. They need the courage to prosper in the realm of online learning, as well as to embrace a growth mindset that prioritizes the learning process rather than opting for effortless assignments that yield superficially high grades. Successful online learning heavily relies on learner engagement, and our ability to support our students is of equal significance. The concept of a growth mindset goes beyond merely accepting and adapting to setbacks. Instead, it revolves around leveraging difficult situations as an opportunity for personal growth and self-improvement. Individuals with a growth mindset possess an open-mindedness that allows them to approach challenges with fascination and eagerness as they actively take charge and tackle obstacles. They view mistakes and failures as stepping stones towards learning and improvement. In the wise words of 19th century British mathematician Augustus de Morgan, we cannot surpass our highest point of trouble. This implies that all personal growth and development arise from periods of adversity. Inner conflicts tend to contribute more significantly to growth than external ones. When confronted with a task at which we fail, our beliefs of not measuring up in terms of intelligence, talent, or capability tend to emerge. If we succumb to these limiting beliefs, our ability to learn, progress, and succeed becomes hindered. However, by recognizing that these thoughts are stagnant and do not represent the truth, we can work towards overcoming them. This shift liberates us from the constraints of fixed mindsets and propels us to operate from a growth mindset. In contrast, a fixed mindset fails to foster a willingness to embrace challenges or persevere in the face of difficulties. It undermines the notion that effort is a pathway to mastery. Individuals with a fixed mindset are more prone to giving up on tasks and investing minimal effort in problem solving. The growth mindset encourages a different approach, one that disregards or disdains the presence of challenges. Whenever an obstacle arises in the lives of those with a fixed mindset, it often results in a loss of motivation. Such individuals are inclined to feel defeated and consequently downplay their abilities and achievements when faced with difficulties. Therefore, once we adopt a mindset that restricts our potential by fixating on a single aspect of our abilities and personality, with the belief that intelligence and talent cannot be changed, it becomes crucial to cultivate and develop these qualities. In summary, a growth mindset is invaluable in guiding students through uncertain times. It instills hope, courage, and determination, allowing them to navigate the consequences of an extended school closure. It is vital to recognize the potential mismatch between tasks assigned to learners and their actual capabilities, as well as the lack of opportunities to responsibly apply their digital competencies. Mere engagement in the digital world is insufficient. We must equip students with tools that facilitate the translation of their educational digital skills, supported by a suitable social infrastructure. As my writing mentor once shared, we must first become proficient in our own unique ways before guiding others. Courage and a growth mindset are essential for our students, as they require the bravery to thrive in online learning and the willingness to embrace growth over easy assignments. Ultimately, success in online learning hinges upon learner engagement, and our ability to support students is paramount. Adopting a growth mindset involves more than bouncing back from adversity. It entails leveraging difficult circumstances to foster personal growth and development. Individuals embracing a growth mindset possess an innate curiosity and eagerness to tackle challenges head-on. They approach mistakes and failures with joy and serenity, viewing them as valuable opportunities for learning and improvement. In line with the words of 19th century mathematician Augustus de Morgan, all periods of growth in our lives are inevitably precipitated by times of adversity. True growth and development stem more from internal conflicts than external ones. When faced with a task at which we falter, our convictions of inadequacy in terms of intelligence, talent, or worthiness rise to the surface. Succumbing to these beliefs will obstruct our journey of learning, progress, and success. However, by recognizing the static nature of these thoughts and their lack of representation of the truth, we can work towards transcending them. This transformative shift propels us beyond the limitations of fixed mindsets, empowering us to operate from a growth mindset. In contrast, a fixed mindset does not foster a willingness to embrace challenge or persist in the face of difficulties. It disregards the idea that effort is the path to mastery. Individuals with a fixed mindset are prone to giving up on tasks and investing minimal effort in problem solving. On the contrary, a growth mindset encourages an attitude of indifference or even disdain towards challenges. When encountering an obstacle, individuals with a fixed mindset often experience a loss of motivation. They tend to feel defeated and devalue their abilities and accomplishments when confronted with difficulties. Therefore, once we adopt a mindset that restricts our potential by fixating on a single aspect of our abilities and personality, based on the belief that intelligence and talent are unchangeable, it becomes crucial to develop and cultivate these qualities. In conclusion, a growth mindset serves as a guiding light for students during these uncertain times. It instills hope, courage, and determination as they face the challenges posed by an extended school closure. It is vital to acknowledge that learners may encounter tasks that do not fully engage their abilities, along with a lack of opportunities to utilize their digital competencies responsibly and ethically, which were acquired in the classroom. Merely keeping students active in the digital world fails to suffice. We must equip them with tools that enable the translation of their educational digital competencies while being supported and reinforced by a suitable social infrastructure. As my writing mentor taught me, we must attain proficiency in our own unique ways before guiding others. Courage and a growth mindset are of utmost importance for our students. They need the courage to prosper in the realm of online learning, as well as to embrace a growth mindset that prioritizes the learning process rather than opting for effortless assignments that yield superficially high grades. Successful online learning heavily relies on learner engagement, and our ability to support our students is of equal significance. The concept of a growth mindset goes beyond merely accepting and adapting to setbacks. Instead, it revolves around leveraging difficult situations as an opportunity for personal growth and self-improvement. Individuals with a growth mindset possess an open-mindedness that allows them to approach challenges with fascination and eagerness as they actively take charge and tackle obstacles. They view mistakes and failures as stepping stones towards learning and improvement. In the wise words of 19th century British mathematician Augustus de Morgan, we cannot surpass our highest point of trouble. This implies that all personal growth and development arise from periods of adversity. Inner conflicts tend to contribute more significantly to growth than external ones. When confronted with a task at which we fail, our beliefs of not measuring up in terms of intelligence, talent, or capability tend to emerge. If we succumb to these limiting beliefs, our ability to learn, progress, and succeed becomes hindered. However, by recognizing that these thoughts are stagnant and do not represent the truth, we can work towards overcoming them. This shift liberates us from the constraints of fixed mindsets and propels us to operate from a growth mindset. In contrast, a fixed mindset fails to foster a willingness to embrace challenges or persevere in the face of difficulties. It undermines the notion that effort is a pathway to mastery. Individuals with a fixed mindset are more prone to giving up on tasks and investing minimal effort in problem solving. The growth mindset encourages a different approach, one that disregards or disdains the presence of challenges. Whenever an obstacle arises in the lives of those with a fixed mindset, it often results in a loss of motivation. Such individuals are inclined to feel defeated and consequently downplay their abilities and achievements when faced with difficulties. Therefore, once we adopt a mindset that restricts our potential by fixating on a single aspect of our abilities and personality, with the belief that intelligence and talent cannot be changed, it is important to cultivate and develop these qualities. In summary, a growth mindset is invaluable in guiding students through uncertain times. It instills hope, courage, and determination, allowing them to navigate the consequences of an extended school closure. It is vital to recognize the potential mismatch between tasks assigned to learners and their actual capabilities, as well as the lack of opportunities to responsibly apply their digital competencies. Mere engagement in the digital world is insufficient. We must equip students with tools that facilitate the translation of their educational digital skills, supported by a suitable social infrastructure. As my writing mentor once shared, we must first become proficient in our own unique ways before guiding others. Courage and a growth mindset are essential for our students, as they require the bravery to thrive in online learning and the willingness to embrace growth over easy assignments. Ultimately, success in online learning hinges upon learner engagement, and our ability to support students is paramount. Adopting a growth mindset involves more than bouncing back from adversity. It entails leveraging difficult circumstances to foster personal growth and development. Individuals embracing a growth mindset possess an innate curiosity and eagerness to tackle challenges head-on. They approach mistakes and failures with joy and serenity, viewing them as valuable opportunities for learning and improvement. In line with the words of 19th century mathematician Augustus de Morgan, all periods of growth in our lives are inevitably precipitated by times of adversity. True growth and development stem more from internal conflicts than external ones. When faced with a task at which we falter, our convictions of inadequacy in terms of intelligence, talent, or worthiness rise to the surface. Succumbing to these beliefs will obstruct our journey of learning, progress, and success. However, by recognizing the static nature of these thoughts and their lack of representation of the truth, we can work towards transcending them. This transformative shift propels us beyond the limitations of fixed mindsets, empowering us to operate from a growth mindset. In contrast, a fixed mindset does not foster a willingness to embrace challenge or persist in the face of difficulties. It disregards the idea that effort is the path to mastery. Individuals with a fixed mindset are prone to giving up on tasks and investing minimal effort in problem solving. On the contrary, a growth mindset encourages an attitude of indifference or even disdain towards challenges. When encountering an obstacle, individuals with a fixed mindset often experience a loss of motivation. They tend to feel defeated and devalue their abilities and accomplishments when confronted with difficulties. Therefore, once we adopt a mindset that restricts our potential by fixating on a single aspect of our abilities and personality, based on the belief that intelligence and talent are unchangeable, it is important to develop and cultivate these qualities. If you found this content enriching and valuable, we would be deeply grateful if you could express your appreciation through liking and subscribing. Your support is incredibly meaningful and enables us to continue creating content that resonates with you. For those who think this is a great gift for yourself or for your loved ones, you can find the link in the description.